Have you ever felt like everything around you is closing in, causing you to lose your calm and balance in life? Amid the noise of modern life, we often get swept away by invisible pressures, gradually forgetting that true peace doesn't lie in avoiding difficulties, but in how we face them. Stoic philosophy, with its profound teachings, offers us a precious key to unlock the door to inner tranquility. It reminds us that calmness is not just a state of mind, but an inner strength that helps us stand firm amidst life's storms. In the second lesson of our series, Stoic Tips for Real Life, we will explore how to master your emotions and maintain serenity amidst the constant upheavals of life. You'll realize that peace is not something distant, but a precious gift that's always within reach, just waiting for you to recognize and cherish it. Are you ready to accept the challenge and discover the true power within you? Start now and join us in experiencing and embracing the wonderful principles of Stoic philosophy, to live a life not only full of meaning, but also overflowing with happiness and peace. Number 1. The one path to serenity. Have you ever wondered, amidst the chaos of life, how to find true peace of mind? It's not found in the things we possess or in the successes we chase, but in our ability to adjust our mindset, accept reality, and let go of what is beyond our control. This is the only path to tranquility, a path that the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once spoke of. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think about the moments in life when you felt powerless, when everything seemed to spiral out of control. It might be when you're anxious about work, when a relationship is on the brink of collapse, or when you're uncertain about the future. Have you ever realized that in those moments, peace doesn't come from changing your circumstances, but from changing your perspective? As Jesus once said, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." True tranquility isn't about trying to predict or control the future, but about learning to live fully in the present, accepting what is happening, and letting go of unnecessary burdens. Consider our daily lives. For instance, when you're rushing to work and get stuck in traffic, something is completely out of your control. Getting frustrated will only worsen your mood. But if you accept the situation and use that time to listen to your favorite music or brainstorm a new idea, you'll feel much lighter. This is how you can create peace for yourself, by changing how you react to unchangeable situations. Ultimately, what we can learn from both Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus is this: true peace doesn't come from trying to control the external world, but from mastering our inner world. Learn to live in the present and focus on what you can control: your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Only then will you truly find the path to inner peace, a path that remains steadfast no matter what storms life brings. Number 2. Circle of control. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the challenges of life, finding yourself submerged in anxiety, insecurity, and a loss of control? In such moments, Stoic philosophy advises us to return to the circle of control, a crucial concept that helps us clearly distinguish between what we can and cannot control. Understanding this distinction is the key to achieving inner peace. A practical example we can easily relate to is the use of social media. Many people get caught up in comparing themselves to others, worrying about negative feedback, or trying to control how others perceive them. But the truth is, we cannot control others' thoughts or feelings about us. The only thing we can control is how we use social media, making it a source of value rather than a cause of anxiety. When we talk about the circle of control, one of the most striking examples of applying this concept in real life is the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison but never lost his calm and inner resolve. Mandela couldn't control the brutal apartheid system in South Africa, or change the fact that he was imprisoned for many years. However, he chose to control his response to this situation. Instead of letting hatred and anger consume him, Mandela focused on what he could control: his thoughts, his attitude, and his determination not to let circumstances turn him into a victim. During his years of imprisonment, he used his time to learn, reflect, and prepare for the day he would be free to continue fighting for his people's freedom. Mandela chose to focus on his circle of control, his attitude and actions, and this is what transformed him from a prisoner into a great leader who brought peace and change to South Africa. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. This is your circle of control. By concentrating on it, you will find true freedom and peace, regardless of the turmoil around you. Ask yourself, will you choose to live in anxiety over things you cannot change, or will you focus on mastering what you can? The answer lies in your choice. Next, let's move on to secret number 3 in our journey of discovering and conquering your best potential. But before that, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt as if your mind was being controlled by endless worries, fears, and desires? As if invisible strings were pulling you into negative thoughts, robbing you of your mental freedom? Stoic philosophy teaches that to find true freedom, we must cut those strings, the external factors that control our minds. Number 3, cut the strings that pull your mind. Think about our daily lives. How many times have you worried about what others think of you, gradually feeling the need to change yourself just to please them? How often have you been caught up in comparing yourself to others on social media, only to end up feeling inadequate? These thoughts, if left unchecked, become invisible strings that bind the mind, robbing us of true peace and freedom. Jesus also teaches us to let go of unnecessary worries and seek freedom in our souls. He said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This rest is not just physical relief, but a release of the soul from the burdens and pressures of life. Oprah Winfrey is a living example of overcoming adversity and finding freedom in her soul by cutting the negative strings that once bound her life. Born into poverty in Mississippi in 1954, Oprah faced many challenges from a young age. She endured a troubled childhood marked by poverty, racism, and sexual abuse by family members. These painful experiences could have easily turned into invisible strings, pulling her into a pit of negativity and self-doubt. One of the major turning points in Oprah's life came when she realized that instead of focusing on what she lacked, a comfortable life and a loving family, she needed to focus on what she had: intelligence, perseverance, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. This was a crucial step in cutting the negative strings that had controlled her mind. Rather than being consumed by resentment and disappointment, Oprah chose to focus on more positive values. Oprah Winfrey is clear proof that freedom and success do not come from escaping difficult circumstances, but from learning to master the mind, letting go of negative thoughts, and focusing on what truly matters. She embodies Stoic philosophy, a philosophy that not only helps us face adversity, but also rises above it to live a full and meaningful life. Cutting the strings that control your mind doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or avoiding difficulties. It means recognizing the external factors that control your thoughts and emotions and learning to let them go. When you do this, you find freedom in your soul, a freedom that no one can take away, because it doesn't depend on external things. You will no longer be a victim of circumstances, but instead become the director of your life, living true to your values and goals. And that is the essence of Stoic philosophy: finding strength from within to live a life that is both full and serene. Number 4. Peace is in staying the course. Have you ever felt lost amid life's challenges and obstacles, wondering if you're on the right path? In those moments, Stoic philosophy reminds us that true peace doesn't come from avoiding difficulties, but from persevering on the path we've chosen. This means that peace comes from persistence and determination to stay the course, no matter what challenges or obstacles may arise. Imagine a marathon runner in the final miles of a race. At this point, their body is utterly exhausted. Every muscle feels like it wants to quit, and pain starts to spread throughout. Their legs are heavy, and each step seems like a challenge, both physically and mentally. But what keeps them from giving up? What helps them push beyond their limits to reach the finish line? It's their steadfastness, strong will, and belief in the goal they set from the very beginning. The marathon runner understands that every step matters, and every breath brings them closer to their goal. They know that comfort isn't the goal of this race, but rather the ability to overcome hardships to complete the journey. Peace for them isn't found in avoiding or quitting in the face of challenges, but in persevering forward despite the exhaustion and pain. In those moments, the runner faces an intense internal battle. Part of them wants to stop, to escape the pain and fatigue. But another part, the stronger and more resolute part, reminds them why they started this race. They recall the early morning training in the cold, the long hours running under the scorching sun, and the times they pushed beyond their limits. It is in these hardest moments that the runner finds the strength to continue. They understand that perseverance is not just about reaching the finish line, but about the journey they've undertaken, about not giving up when things get tougher. The marathon runner's story reflects how we should face life. Sometimes we will encounter difficulties and seemingly insurmountable obstacles, but if we persist, holding firm to our belief in the path we've chosen, we will find peace not in ease, but in the ability to overcome every challenge. Just like the marathon runner, our success doesn't come from avoiding difficulties, but from continuing forward, step by step, until we reach our goals. Share your thoughts on applying the principles of Stoicism in daily life. When you face difficulties, will you choose to retreat or continue moving forward with determination? Your story will be a source of inspiration and reflection for us all. Please leave a comment below and join the conversation. Number 5. Never do anything out of habit. Have you ever wondered if you're living a life driven by habit, repeating actions without truly reflecting on their meaning and purpose? Stoic philosophy warns us about the danger of letting life be led by habit, as this not only diminishes our awareness, but also distances us from our true essence. Consider our daily routines, mindlessly scrolling through social media, working just to get tasks done, or even spending time with family without truly connecting. These habits can numb our ability to live a meaningful and purposeful life. When we let habits take control, we lose the opportunity to live actively, wisely, and mindfully. A clear example from reality is Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. He was known for constantly challenging conventional habits, always seeking to innovate and create in everything he did. Jobs once said, "Live each day as if it were your last, because someday you'll most certainly be right." He never allowed himself to be bound by habits or routines. It was this approach that led him to create products that changed the world and left a lasting legacy. In life, each of us can fall into the trap of habit. But ask yourself, how can we live a life not controlled by repetitive actions, but instead live with mindfulness and creativity? Start with the smallest things. Ask why you do what you do and how it adds real value to your life. Live with awareness, with gratitude, and with presence in every moment. We want to thank and congratulate you for making it halfway through today's video. Your presence here shows that you are fully ready for this journey. Now, let's shift your focus to the remaining 4 principles as we pause for thought in the process of self-improvement. Number 6. Reboot the real work. When you wake up each day, do you ask yourself, what will I devote my time and energy to today that truly matters? In our modern lives, we often get caught up in the whirlwind of work, daily tasks, and societal pressures, losing sight of our true goals. Stoic philosophy reminds us that sometimes we need to pause, reflect, and restart the real work, returning to what is essential, what brings real meaning and value to our lives. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, strongly emphasized that we must regularly evaluate how we spend our time and energy. Are you investing in what truly matters? Or are you getting swept up in activities that merely keep you busy, chasing societal standards while forgetting your core values? Consider the life of Mahatma Gandhi, who dedicated his entire existence to fighting for freedom and justice through peaceful means. Gandhi didn't just go through the motions of life. He constantly questioned whether his actions truly reflected the values he believed in. Every morning, he woke up with a clear purpose and continually asked himself, "Is what I'm doing today bringing me closer to the ideal of a better world?" This self-reflection helped him restart each day, ensuring that every action he took carried deep meaning and lasting value for both himself and humanity. In the modern context, restarting real work can begin with small but significant changes, reducing time spent on social media to spend more time with family, quitting jobs pursued solely for financial pressure to follow your passion, or simply taking time to care for yourself. Each decision, whether big or small, is a step toward reclaiming the true purpose of your life. Restarting the real work is a journey back to yourself, to the values you hold dear. It requires courage to let go of things that no longer serve you, and the determination to pursue what truly matters. Are you ready to start over, to put your goals and values first, and to live a life that not only exists but is truly worth living? If you are ready, leave a comment saying, "Restart the real work," to show your commitment to change. And let's discuss how we can apply Stoic philosophy to build a better, more beautiful life. Remember, in every challenge, there is an opportunity for those who know how to seize it. Number 7. See the world like a poet and an artist. As we live in this ever-changing world, have you ever wondered if you could view life from a fresher, more emotional and creative perspective? Stoic philosophy, though often associated with reason and self-control, also encourages us to see the world through the eyes of a poet and an artist, with admiration, subtlety, and inspiration. Seeing the world like a poet and an artist does not mean ignoring harsh realities, but knowing how to find beauty and meaning in the smallest details of life. For example, when you stand before a sunset, instead of simply noticing the sun setting, try to pause and feel the magic in the last rays of light, in the changing colors of the sky, and in the sense of peace that moment brings. This is not just about appreciating beauty, but also a way to connect more deeply with life, to realize that every moment holds a valuable lesson. Vincent van Gogh, one of the greatest artists in history, lived a life full of suffering and misfortune. Despite battling mental storms, loneliness, and material deprivation, he maintained a heart full of emotion, love, and sensitivity to the world around him. Van Gogh was not just a painter. He was a soul who learned to find magic in what seemed most ordinary. He once shared, "I feel there is something inside me, something marvelous in my own heart, a love so fierce for nature and art, and it is what drives me to create." In Van Gogh's paintings, we can feel how he viewed the world with the eyes of a poet and an artist. He did not just paint wheat fields, sunflowers, or starry skies. He infused his soul and emotions into every brushstroke. For Van Gogh, every flower, every blade of grass contained a story, a deep emotion. What others might overlook as an ordinary day became, for him, timeless works of art, full of color and vitality. We, in our daily lives, can also learn to see the world through this lens. You can start by paying more attention to the small things you often overlook. A warm smile, the sound of rain, or a kind word. Every moment contains its beauty, and when we learn to recognize that, life becomes richer and more meaningful. Are you ready to start seeing the world as a poet and an artist, to discover the hidden beauties that life brings? Number 8. Wherever you go, there your choice is. In the journey of life, we often encounter crossroads and important decisions that we must make. But have you ever stopped to reflect that wherever you go, in life, geographically, spiritually, or emotionally, is the result of your own choices? This is a core principle of Stoic philosophy, that our lives are shaped by the decisions we make, and the responsibility for those decisions rests entirely with us. Ask yourself, how have you chosen in your life? Have you decided to let fear dictate your actions, or have you chosen courage and determination? Are you living the life you truly want, or are you pursuing goals imposed by others? In modern life, we often find it easy to blame circumstances, others, or even fate for the difficulties we encounter. But if you look deeper, you will realize that it is the choices you have made, or even the lack of making a choice, that have led you to your current position. Take a real-life example. A person may feel dissatisfied with their current job, believing they are not appreciated or are treated unfairly. However, if they look back, they might realize that they chose to stay for the sake of security rather than seek a new opportunity. Choosing to stay, choosing not to change, is still a choice. Jesus taught us about the power of choice when he said, "Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." He emphasized that the right path is often difficult and requires the courage to choose, but it leads to a true and meaningful life. So, what about you? Which path will you choose? Will you let circumstances control you, or will you seize the power of choice to guide your life to where you truly want it to be? Remember, where you end up is the result of the choices you make today. In the process of exploring the profound wisdom of Stoicism, I was very impressed by Marcus Aurelius's quote in Meditations, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This quote brings us to a core practice of Stoicism, which is also the ultimate key to becoming extraordinarily wise. Number 9. Reignite your thoughts. Have you ever felt like your mind is stuck in negative thoughts, prolonged worry, or fatigue? That is when we need to rekindle our thoughts and refresh our souls to continue the journey of life with clarity and inspiration. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of controlling our thoughts, because it is our thoughts that are the source of our emotions and actions. When you find yourself in a negative spiral, ask yourself, do these thoughts serve any purpose? Do they help you become a better person, or are they simply barriers that prevent you from moving forward? Rekindling your thoughts is the process of reshaping your mind, finding clarity and a new direction. It means allowing yourself to let go of old notions and obsessions that no longer serve you, and making room for more positive ideas and thoughts. Jesus also emphasized the importance of renewing the mind in the Bible when he said, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." This encourages us not to be bound by the negative thoughts of the world, but always to renew our minds to achieve peace and wisdom. A practical example is the life of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist and philosopher who survived the Holocaust. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl shares how he rekindled his thoughts in the most brutal circumstances. Instead of letting fear and despair control him, he chose to focus on the deeper meaning of life and the importance of hope. Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's way." It was this reshaping of his thoughts that helped him overcome the horrors and find meaning even in suffering. Rekindling your thoughts is not easy, but it is a necessary journey to move forward powerfully and fully. Do not let old, negative thoughts prevent you from living a life full of meaning and peace. Ask yourself, are you ready to let go of thoughts that no longer serve you and replace them with new, inspiring, and vibrant ones? Remember, a change in thought brings about a change in your life. In a world full of turmoil and constant change, calmness is the compass that guides us through life's storms. Stoic philosophy teaches us that calmness is not indifference or avoidance, but an inner strength that helps us face adversity with clarity and determination. When we learn to maintain a calm, we not only master our emotions, but also open the door to spiritual freedom, where anxieties cannot dominate and fears no longer hold us back. Remember, calmness is not just a state, but a choice. You can choose to keep your soul peaceful, thereby finding serenity and wisdom in all circumstances. By doing so, you will not only live a worthy life, but also become a source of inspiration for those around you, guiding them toward the path of true peace and freedom. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button to support the channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts and share the video with friends and family to spread the positive values of Stoic philosophy together. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss upcoming videos on Stoic living and personal development.